All right, here's your copy of the citation. As far as the bills, you don't want to take it? Well, it's going to take it because it's your citation. That's your citation. That's littering. Step out of the car.
Don't
Yes,
do
ma'am.
that.
Yes, ma'am. Step out.
I'm not stepping
Step out. 69163.
Yes.
Step out.
I'm not.
Step out. Step out. Step out.
Don't touch me.
Step it out.
I'm not.
What's going on, y'all? Eric Moser here with Code Red Conversation. As you see, we have a hot topic to discuss today, but I'm not rolling solo today. I'm bringing on my boy who's going to give his own introduction, my boy Corey. Break it down to the Code Red Conversation family. Tell them a little bit about yourself and why I sought out your expertise in this topic.
What up, my boy E.
Up,
this is your boy Corey Taylor, man. You know, coming from the East Coast here, Virginia. I'm a former Virginia State Trooper here, 7 years. I'm a retired Navy Chief Petty Officer, 21 years of service. And now I am a probation / pretrial officer here in the great state of Virginia. Nice. And I also am a business owner now. We do on the side, my wife and I. And I just published 2 books last year, Seconds to Survive, have here, which teaches young folks and adults how to interact with law enforcement officers when they get pulled over. And the second one is called No Trauma, No Drama, nice. Basically tying those two things together that, using the acronym CALM, which stands for Comply, Answer Questions, Listen, and Move On. No matter what type of officer you get, Eric, as you know, you do these things, nothing harmful should happen to you. Now we don't that you don't get that one butthole that just wants to have, his day and does something wrong. But doing these things, staying calm during the interaction with law enforcement, and listening what they're saying and answering their questions, there's no reason why a major altercation should happen on the side of the road. And Eric, as you always know, we say, let's argue in court and not on the roadway, right? I want to go home just like they want to go home, right? I don't want to do nothing extra but write this ticket that you got to get, or as I used to say, get this love letter that I'm about to give you. So that's me in a nutshell, but thank you for having me. I really miss being on live. I do have a podcast that we kind of went on a little hiatus called The Brothers-in-Law. And shout out to my boy Mike. He just had to take a break for personal reasons. But hopefully we'll be back on here in the near future.
Yeah, sounds good, man. I used to check out your content, all of us being former law enforcement. So it's like, especially with all the drama we were dealing with years ago, especially post George Floyd, it was like, man, like,
it was crazy.
Yeah. Let me pull up your YouTube page here real quick so people can see it. But it was so nuts, man. And we both had a clear passion to inform the public as to how much power they have individually to impact the outcome of a police interaction, in spite of the narrative that we were constantly being told. We're constantly being told, the public, when I say we, I'm talking about the public. People were constantly being told that how abusive the police were. And we never deny that reality, that there are cops out there who abuse their power. We worked in that environment. I guarantee you as well as we've seen other officers abuse their authority. But at the same time, we also understand that just as much, or to a larger, or just as close to the mindset or the actions that the officer has to determine the outcome, so does the individual.
Right. And like I always say, it's a two-way street, right? We expect the officers to be a certain way, right? Because taxpayers put out a lot of money to send them to training to be able to de-escalate all these different types of conflicts. But at the end of the day, they are human. Police officers are human too. They're subject to being wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's not saying that, just because you're in the uniform that, you're going to do everything perfectly. Well, we all make mistakes, but we're held to a higher standard. And same as a citizen, right? We expect the citizens to be a certain way. I expect you to act like you did have some home training. Like if I ask you a question, just common courtesy. No, sir.
Bro, and like I said, and I'm gonna cut you off there because we about to go in deep. We about to go in deep on this one right here, because everything that we touched on just in this last 2 minutes of talking, you're gonna see laid out right before you. But this video is going viral over the last month or so, last 3 weeks. Everybody's been talking about it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure that I brought in a different opinion, because y'all already know where I'm coming from. But we didn't even talk about this topic. But I just know the way Corey thinks, and I know that he had way more. Your job was what you said, highway patrol, state trooper.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That was the primary aspect of your job was traffic. Am I correct?
Yeah, 100%.
So you did way more than me. I avoided traffic stops, especially on them highways. Man, I wasn't trying to be stopping anybody with them cars whizzing past me like that. Unless I had no choice.
It'll make you squimmer.
Yeah, until you get used to it. I'm sure over time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, us here in Vegas and just being a patrol guy, most of my interactions were person stops on just general roadway or answering calls for service or whatever.
Yeah.
But this topic right here, this conversation, I really wanted to dig in deep. I think people, the hot topic, police officers aren't the hot topic right now.
No.
But yet every now and then one of these videos will pop off and everybody will be talking about it and everybody will be pointing fingers as to who's to blame. But I figured that us coming from our positions with our knowledge, us being Black men, we can talk about these topics and hopefully people will at least take into consideration what we're trying to tell them.
Yep.
All right. Well, in the meantime, we're going to start off with a couple of short videos. We're going to show a little bit of what some of the local news stations had to say about this incident. We'll show what they have to say, and then we'll highlight a few points that they made. So hopefully y'all be paying attention to that. And then we'll show you the full video, unedited on our end, and we'll just comment as we go. All right, y'all, here we go. First short news clip.
Is the story of a video of a traffic stop in Hurst is now leading to more questions tonight. A North Texas woman now says she was hurt during that incident, and our Marissa Armas spoke with the woman's attorney and shares what the Hurst Police Department has to say.
It's a video that's now circulating online.
This is a perspective, real quick stop. This is a perspective from her camera phone.
This is the end of an encounter with Hurst police following a traffic stop in January.
Please stop.
The video shows Taneisha Thompson being pulled out of her car by the neck by a Hurst police officer.
Stop.
Moments later, several officers are seen pulling Thompson from the vehicle and taking her to the ground.
Ms. Thompson had a black eye. She had a busted lip requiring 3 to 4 stitches. And other scarring and soft tissue injuries that she's recovering from. Thompson's
attorney, Lee Merritt, says his client was driving home to Melissa with her 15-year-old son when she was pulled over for speeding while passing through Hurst. The now viral video shows Thompson taking out her phone to record the traffic stop.
She wasn't happy that she was being pulled over. She did not believe she was speeding. She suspected that she may have been the target of racial profiling.
After arguing back and forth, an officer issues her a citation. She refuses to take it. The officer then tosses it into her car, And then Thompson throws the citation back out the window. The officer tells her that's littering, and that's when the situation escalates. Thompson tries to roll up the window, and the officer grabs her by the arm while repeatedly asking her to get out of the car. Thompson refused repeatedly before she was dragged out as her son watched.
The message that this kind of arrest and brutality sends to the community, especially when it's been ratified by the Hurst Police Department itself, is that if you don't respect a police officer, if you don't show them deference, if you don't kowtow to them, then they will brutalize you with impunity.
Merritt says the officers...
I'm sorry, man. I had to chime in. I know. Go ahead. If you have something to say, go ahead, man. Say.
Well, I mean, I'm not mad at her attorney. He's just doing his job, right?
Right.
To pad it out. You know, obviously, you know, the police are at fault, right? And it just strikes me. It's like, okay, you want to go the racial profiling. Okay, what are your ingredients into that? What is it that was racial profiling? And at no point does that even come up, right? Because you're speeding, you're obviously going through a school zone, I believe. So and I've seen the video, because in the beginning of that, he said it was a flashing, you know, yellow light on the side of the road there, and like, you were speeding. It's you know, no big deal. You know, police officers do it here. Now we just had the regular street cameras up there now to take the pictures for them. But however, you know, in the past, law enforcement always stayed right there by the school zone, especially, you know, during the time kids are getting dropped off.
Yeah.
So, you know, clearly there's no racial profiling here. And if it were me, if I were back on the force now, and you know, obviously it'd be kind of hard, and nobody's going to say a black guy is racial profiling.
Well, let's try to throw it out there these days, but as far as how much weight it'll actually have, that's a different story.
Right. But you know, you're trying to tell me I'm racial profiling. If that were me, if I were this guy, I'd be going after her for defamation of my character. Like, how are you going to sit here and tell me I'm racial profiling? Like, I can't. He probably didn't even know what color he was, because you're more focused on the make, model, and color of the car than you are the driver of the car. Because, you know, if she was speeding, he probably didn't get a good look. Usually we were trained just to kind of recognize, all right, what color clothing they had on versus, you know, what the color of their skin was. You know, did they have a hat? Did they have hair? What color was their hair? You could have seen the hair. Yeah, you know, we get that, and I'm sorry for rambling on here, but
you're good, brother.
We would get like that, you know, on running radar or LiDAR on the interstate, and somebody's coming past you at 90 miles an hour. How you gonna sit here and tell me I'm profiling? I had no idea what color you were, bro. I just knew you were a red car with, you know, 20-inch rims and a sticker in the back of your window. I got to see when you drove past me at 90 miles an hour. So the majority of the time, these guys don't know what color you are, man. So stop with the saying this was a racial profiling.
You know, especially in the day and age, I don't know exactly. We'll see the video. We might be able to decipher more. So I don't know whether she had window tint or whether it's so easy, and honestly, in my mind, it's so lazy to put out there to make the assumption that someone is doing something based on race. Right. Because then you automatically, it's like the catch-all. Oh, I'm in trouble. I did something wrong.
Let's go to the race car.
And in order to take the heat off of me, let me point to this officer who happens to be white. I'm assuming she's black. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what her name? I think it was like Taneisha.
Yeah, something like that.
Or something like that. But,
yeah.
And you know, I said that just because she could pass for like Hispanic or something like that. You just never know.
You never know.
You know, honestly, but you just throw that out there, and you just automatically get people on your side because they want to assume that what this officer did was the primary motivation was skin color. And that just pissed me off, honestly. That's just lazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead and finish up this video here. Let me pull this back up.
Used excessive force and believes Thompson's Fourth Amendment rights were violated.
He could issue another citation for littering, or he can do what he did, which was completely lose control.
CBS News Texas requested an interview with the Hurst Police Department about the incident, but the department declined, sending us this statement instead, which reads in part, a formal complaint was filed on January 20th, 2026, claiming excessive use of force, and an internal affairs investigation was opened. A thorough investigation was conducted. The claims submitted were determined to be unfounded, and the internal affairs investigation was closed. The department added that the Tarrant County District Attorney's Office is continuing to investigate the case. We'll keep you updated as the story develops.
All right. That's the first video that I'm going to share with y'all. There's one more video I'm going to show where I guess this came out about a week ago, where Taneisha, the female in this video, if I'm saying her name right, where she speaks more publicly. And she's got her son there. This is one thing I'm going to say real quick, man. We didn't mention earlier. This is one of the points I wanted to bring up. The thing that bothers me the most in this entire situation is the son.
Yeah.
You hear him over and over again. Like he's pleading. He's pleading with the officer to a lesser degree, but he's mainly pleading to his mom. He's like, Mom, please stop.
Yeah.
One thing I'm thinking, or two things. Either he's concerned about her, he wants this to be over, because it's like, this is unnecessary, and I don't know if he would even ever come out and say that publicly to make his mom look bad. He knows her. These are my thoughts. He knows that woman because he deals with her regularly. He probably knows that she's quick to fly off the handle, probably knows that she's not a fan of the cops, or at the very least she's got an attitude in a situation where it just ain't necessary. And he's begging her to calm down. And even at one point, even says to the officer, please, can we just get the ticket? Can we just, he's really doing everything he can to keep this situation at a minimum. And he's mainly saying to his mom, please stop. Like, please stop. Just do what this officer is telling you to do. But she refuses to listen. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah, and the officer gave her plenty of time.
My goodness,
to get out of the vehicle. He even offered, "Hey, would just take the ticket," and then it got to the point where he said, "Now, when the son was pleading, he's like, hey, we're past that point now. It's time to go to jail." See, we're
gonna jump into all that. We're gonna show all that here in the hot second. But it's. Let me go ahead and get this video up and running here, man. And we can just hear her talking a little bit and pleading her case.
It is about ensuring de-escalation, about prioritizing the safety of every citizen so that no one else endures what I did.
And for the very first time, that Hurst mother is now speaking out, claiming that she was violently assaulted, wrongfully arrested, in her words, by officers during this traffic stop that we've all watched play out. The police department, for the record, stands firmly behind the officers involved. Tonight, our Amelia Magavro reporting her attorney is now taking the fight to the city council.
Real quick, y'all, for those in the chat, those listening, let us know what you think. If you've seen this video, or if you haven't, just watch it as we go along, especially once we start showing the full police body cam footage. Let us know what your thoughts are. Who do you think was in the wrong? Do you think it was the officer? Do you think it was the civilian? Do you think it was a little bit of both? Let us know what your thoughts are.
I'm here today because this is bigger than me.
Taneisha Thompson says this was a brutal and completely unprovoked attack, all following this January 16th traffic stop that quickly spiraled into chaos, violence, and handcuffs.
Get your hands off me.
Thompson says it all started when she told an officer she didn't want a copy of the speeding ticket. Her video shows the interaction with officers starting amicably.
I'm not signing that.
You're not going to sign it?
No, I'm not.
That's fine.
Moments later, it escalated.
Wait, stop!
Multiple officers are seen dragging Thompson out of the car, forcing her to the ground and arresting her, all while her 15-year-old son sat just feet away in the front seat.
I suffered a black eye, a busted lip, needed stitches, and severe bruises all over my body. Since that day, I have lived in constant fear every time I see a police officer.
All right, here's your copy of the citation. As far as the bills, you don't want to take it? Well, it's going to take.
All right, I think that's enough right there. I just wanted to put out there her talking about pleading her side, saying how she from that day forward, she's lived in constant fear.
It sounds like she just she want to place the blame to somewhere else other than on her own stupidity. Like,
yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, you know, from the very beginning, it's like she came off snobby from the very beginning with the attitude, and that leads me to the second point, because earlier talked about you know, being a two-way street, right? We say the officer is supposed to conduct themselves a certain way. Well, you know what? We expect citizens to conduct themselves in a certain way as well, right?
Absolutely.
You know, I always like to tell folks, hey, you know, give that officer a grain of salt, right? Because you don't know where he or she's coming from, what type of call they've just come from, right? And I always say, you know, how I would go from getting, you know, drugs and guns off the interstate to working a crash an hour later, and then going from that crash to do a death notification, right? So your emotions are like from up here, excited about getting the drugs and guns, to woof, you know, the whole woe is me, and like, God, I gotta go tell this lady her husband is dead now, right? And you know, you get all this stuff, and then you know, still do your job, right?
Yeah.
So you may, you know, that officer may have a little bit of, you know, attitude, right? Because we don't know. And same way with the citizen. As an officer, I don't know who I'm dealing with. I don't know if they just, you know, broke up with their loved one, somebody in their family died. You know, I don't know what type of, you know, that's the reasoning behind the officer asking questions. Hey, how you doing today? Hey, where you coming from? You know, trying to get a feel, because people don't like us saying this now, but the police are supposed to serve, right? And be able to, hey, they're having this type of a crisis going on. Well, hey, I can call somebody to get you some help, right? So these are things behind the questioning the officer may do on the side of the interstate, to kind of get a gauge of, hey, why are you speeding? What's wrong, right?
Had she said something along the lines that we'll get into that, but go ahead. I'll let you finish, man. We'll get the video rolling. I don't want to jump into too much commentary.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna show the main meat here. This is why y'all showed up today, and see what all the fussing was about when it comes down to this video. I'll start it from the very beginning. About 8 minutes long or so. There's some editing done on the part of the local police station as far as when he went back to his vehicle, because if you look at the clock, they kind of jump forward, but you'll still see the overall call really didn't last that long. So let's go ahead and start it off, because that was one of her complaints. So one of her complaints was that the officers took too much time, and he was playing around, wasting her time, and she thought he was doing that intentionally. So we'll keep an eye on the clock, and we'll see if that holds any weight. Full vehicle stop.
Hi there.
Okay, stop right there. What's one thing you noticed, brother? Because what were we speaking of initially? She assumed that it might have been what?
A racial profile.
I see a whole lot of tint.
Yeah.
I see a whole lot of tint.
Yeah.
How difficult would it be to make out the skin color of the individual driving this car from what I see right here? Now, I don't know about the front window.
She is, right. You can't even see who she is right there from that angle.
Exactly. And then she's light-skinned, so she could just, you know, who's to say we know what her color is? Like, the tint could be enough tint to where you have no idea. Asian, Italian, light skin, black,
right?
Philippine, whatever. We don't know.
And that's what I'm saying. You don't know who they are. You know, traveling that, you know, high rate of speed. If she's going, you know, through a school zone, which is only maybe at 15 to 25 miles an hour, and somewhere in between there, depending on the state.
Yeah.
And so if she's going 45 through there, and she's got her window up, it's a nice day, she might have had the AC on in there. I don't know. But it's going to be hard to tell what color she is. So that racial profiling for me right there just goes out the window.
Yeah, or it definitely makes it a little more difficult to make that claim.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Hi there. I'm Corporal Morgan with the Hurst Police.
And another thing, pay attention to the demeanor of each individual. Listen to the officer as he arrives and he's communicating with her, and listen to how she's communicating with him.
Department, reason why you're getting stopped, you were just driving through a school zone going 40. It's a 25 through there. Do you have your driver's license, proof of insurance with you today? Where y'all heading to this afternoon?
Home.
Coming from?
Why?
Just a question.
It's none of your business.
I'm sorry?
It's none of your business.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Okay. Do you have your insurance?
I'm showing you that.
Any reason for the hurry this afternoon?
I wasn't in a hurry. I didn't even see a school.
Oh, there's a flashing signal as you were driving through, directly on the side of the roadway.
I want to rewind it back a few seconds here, man. Point out something.
Go ahead.
Home.
Coming from?
Why?
Just a
It's
question.
none of your business.
I'm sorry?
It's none of your business.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let me pull up our handsome faces here real quick. Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. I want the audience to really hear this. The officer, we are trained to ask questions. Now, she doesn't have to answer these questions when he's asking her where's she going, where she's coming from. She's not mandated. She doesn't have to ask those with a simple traffic violation. However, he's not being rude. He's not being a jerk. But look at how she's responding to him. I've said time and time again, your attitude, and we talked about this already, Corey, while we're watching the other videos. Your attitude can make or break a police interaction. There have been times where I had people who had minor felonies. I'm talking about maybe low-level felony offenses, where I had the option of letting them go. They might have had a felony warrant for like a bad check, and it might have just been at the limit or something like that. And I had the option of taking them to jail or cutting them loose. And their demeanor, their criminal history made all the difference in the world as to how I responded.
Yep.
And man, let me give you a quick for instance. There was a time, and I've said this story over and over again. I stopped somebody for speeding in front of a school zone. It was a local college here in Las Vegas, UNLV. I stopped the dude for speeding right in front of the college. I pulled him over. I came up to that vehicle early. It was early in the morning, like 7, like right straight out the gate, straight out of briefing. My first interaction was me pulling him over. I walk up to that car. Dude had a straight up attitude from the jump, like from the get-go. He was pissed off. I'm sitting over here asking him, identifying myself, asking him why he was speeding. Attitude. I said, time out, man. I said, we're going to start this all over again. I said, because something going on with you, were you catching attitude with me for I don't know what reason? I said, we're going to rewind this whole thing and we're going to give this thing another go. I actually stepped back, just being silly. I stepped back a few steps and I walked up to the vehicle. Hello, sir. My name is Officer Muldrow with LVMPD. The reason I stopped you is because you were doing 15 you were doing like 30 and a 15. Is there a reason for that? And then he started with a whole different attitude. But if he had continued on with that nonsense, I wasn't trying to give him every ticket. Most likely, I probably would have just given him a break. Maybe wrote a warning and said, man, slow down next time. But the fact that he was starting off bad and I just happened to be in a good mood. It was like my first day back at work. It was early in the morning. I'm feeling good. I said, I'm going to give you another chance. And then I told him, I said, my man, your attitude can dictate whether you get a ticket or not. Which route do you want to go? I said, because I have an option. I can just say, man, slow down and send you on your way. or I can write you a ticket because that's well within my rights. So in this prime example, her sitting over here getting funky with the officer for asking her simple questions. Why? None of your business. If she could have said the same thing with a different tone. She should have said, officer, all due respect, I'd rather not say. You relayed the same message without being an a-hole, if you get my drift. Did you want to comment on that?
No, 100% agree with that. And it got to a point, like, I'm a pretty fair guy, right? Yeah. I'm going to talk to you just like I would want somebody else to talk to, my wife or my mother or my mother-in-law, so I'm going to always deliver that common courtesy. But like you said, that's their attitude would be the reason why, instead of just getting one ticket, I'm looking for everything else. I'm looking for every violation I can get you in accordance to the letter of the law. And I would go back, Eric, after the stop, and go back to the car to write my notes. What happened that I'm going to testify to in court of what you said and how you said it. And I would sit there like, dang, man, what the heck just happened? Like, I'm rewinding the video to see what I did. Like, was I really a butthole? I'm like, I had to check myself. Like, look, man, I taught how I talk. I talk to everybody the same way, no matter a male, female,
black, white,
Asian, whatever. Everybody got the same treatment from
no doubt.
And that's what prompted me to write the book. Is why I was like Seconds to the Vibe. How to navigate through a police stop safely and with confidence, because just doing these 4 things, complying, answering their question, listen to what they have to say, giving you further instructions about maybe how to handle the ticket or give you directions or whatever the case may be. And then the end result to move on. If you got the ticket, you got the ticket, but at least you got to go home. You're not, if you did something that warranted you to go to jail because there was other things involved with the stop, then you just had to suck it up and go to jail and fight it in court. And, and I'm like, man, that is not necessary. Like, it should not have to come to that. Just like for this lady here, it was unnecessary. Okay, she might have had a bad day. Again, there's that grain of salt. He was giving her that grain of salt by not really, going off. And I would have just said, hey, everything all right? What's going on? Trying to figure out, hey, why is she snapping at me? I didn't do anything, right? And so he remained professional the whole time up until that part, until he had to go hands on
to jail, hands on, the whole time. You're gonna see. I don't even want us to talk it. I want people to see it. You see the demeanor, how it's starting already, where she's catching the attitude, and he's being calm, remaining professional. But what's going on in the back of his head is probably, I'm assuming, but probably she's continuing with this stank attitude.
Yeah.
I'm going to get her, like you said, there are probably multiple violations I can get her for. I could potentially take her to jail for.
Yeah.
Okay. And her demeanor. Okay. All right. I'm well within my rights. Tell me how I violated any of her rights. Tell me where I overstepped the bounds of my position.
Did he not even?
You can prove that. Then you have a conversation. Then you have an argument. All right.
Any reason for the hurry this afternoon?
I wasn't in a hurry. I didn't even see a school.
Oh, there's a flashing signal as you were driving through.
Yeah, you didn't see it because you was
directly on the side of the roadway. Can I see your phone? That's good till March. Let me go check on your license. I'll be right back with you. I'll just stay in the car for me.
Okay, he's back in the car. It's 1500.
So it's 3 o'clock.
The vehicle stop. Let me go back real quick. The vehicle stop took place 14:59. So he spent about a minute at her window. He spent about 1 minute at her window. Okay, they sped it up right there. 15:02. He went, ran, did his checks. 2 minutes or so.
Minutes. Yep, 2 minutes.
Heck, that's on a good day. There have been times, man, I don't know about you, bro, but there have been times where the system was slow and it took minutes. And I even had to let them know things are running a little slow. We're not trying to hold you up any longer than necessary, but it may take a little bit longer than normal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Taneisha, you'll be receiving a citation today for the speed. I just need to get a signature from you. This is not an admission of guilt.
I'm not.
It's a promise. You're not going to sign it? That's fine. I'll just put refuse. I need to get the VIN number on the car real quick. I'll enter that. I'll print you your copy and send you on.
What's up?
I just want to say something. How polite and courtesy he was when she refused. Right? He said, "Oh, that's okay. I just write refuse on it."
Yeah.
So does that sound like a racist guy racially profiling?
Doesn't to me.
Not to me. I mean, I don't mean he's being polite and courtesy. What more do you want? And thank God for body cam footage.
Man, bro, there's another video I might be calling you on. I saw where another show talked about. Now you're hearing people saying that they don't want body cams anymore because when the narrative that they tried to preach that cops are out of control and they're doing whatever they want to do, we can get all these officers wearing body cameras. It's going to show what's really going on.
Yeah,
but then once the body camera starts showing that the officers are
black
basically
people.
Say again.
I said, yeah, so they can no longer say they're out here just purposely killing black people.
Right. When you see black folks or whoever is on the other end of that body camera acting a fool and getting shot up or getting treated the way they did, when you're seeing the actions of the individual, it paints a whole different picture. Now you got people saying, well, the police officers are acting different. No, they're not, because the stats are basically the same.
Yeah.
The statistics are basically the same, except now you can't point to the fact that there's no body camera. Crazy. Right. Craziness, man. There was something I wanted to say, but I'm sure I'll remember here in a minute.
Your way. Where's your registration sticker on the car?
I just bought this car, so I'm waiting for it.
Okay.
Any more questions?
I'm just asking.
Okay.
Man,
more attitude. Wow.
You know what do you think, man? I mean, we all know that there were some dudes that just love writing tickets, so they write a ticket to their mom if they could.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But what are the odds, man? We're just speculating here. What are the odds that he probably would have given her a break had she not caught an attitude from the beginning?
I mean, I would say probably a 65% chance.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe 50, depending on the officer, obviously.
Yeah, depending on the officer. And then has he just answered some of those simple questions? We all ask, hey, it was a reason. I would say, hey, good afternoon, sir, ma'am. Tributary Virginia State Police, Messi driver license registration. I get it. Reason for the traffic stop today, sir, is for speeding. Reason why we're traveling so fast. You're doing 75 in the 60 mile an hour speed zone. And I want to say no. Okay. All right. Now I'm really looking at, in depth at your ID, make sure it's not fake. I want to, I'm looking, visually looking in there, see if I see open containers, anything that would give me probable cause, to pull you out, or hey, be able to write you another, citation. I'm looking at your tires, see if the thread on your tires are in regulation. I'm looking at your inspection sticker more closely now, make sure it's not counterfeit. I'm looking at your tail light. I'm going through everything now because okay, I see how you get some guys who just Man, I'm sorry. They'll apologize. Hey, all right, everything all right? No problems? And like, no, me and my old lady got into it. Okay. Now I see. All right. How you just had to get away. Yeah, I just had to get out the house and I just wasn't paying attention. You know what? Now I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna verify everything in the system. Will come back. Hey man, I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah. Or if it's a officer, I'm running late for work. Please, I wasn't paying attention to how I knew I had to get there, and I knew I was moving kind of fast, but I really wasn't paying attention to how fast I was going. Please forgive me. And we're not even expecting people to bow down or kiss our behinds or anything like that.
Not at all.
Just show us the same courtesy. Acknowledge the fact that you screwed up. That I'm stopping you. That we're stopping you because of what you did.
Right.
She was 15 over the speed limit.
Yeah.
She was 15 miles per hour over the speed limit. Typically, I was kind of like around 10, where I'd be like, I may give you some leeway, but if you're in the school zone, oh yeah, you better be within. I might give you 5 miles over the speed limit, maybe in a school zone. If I see kids there, you're not getting any love from me whatsoever. If you're speeding through that school zone, yeah, I'm stopping you. If it's a 15 and you're going 20, there's a good chance I'm pulling you over, and we're at least going to have a conversation.
And just think, if she would have hit somebody traveling at that rate of speed as she was going, she hit a little kid crossing the street or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, a whole different ballgame. So the officer is in that area doing that patrol for a reason. Right. And everybody's got their day-to-day life. We know everybody's out here hustling. The son probably had to go to basketball practice or football practice or track practice, and she running a little bit late, so she's not paying it. We get that, right? But that doesn't mean start off with a nasty attitude.
Right
now, the way they're projecting her case now, how she's coming out making these statements, now she's always going to be afraid. Well, I'm here to let your viewers know, do not let her reality be your reality of interacting with law enforcement. Two solely different states, wherever you may be and wherever this took place, different officers. So, you would hope you would get an officer like she had that gave you the respect. I had the 3-strike rule, Eric. I'm only going to ask you 3 times you coming out that car. One, we're on this highway, mugs are blown past me, miles an hour. The longer I stay out here on the shoulder with you, the higher risk I have of being hit by another vehicle. So I'm going to ask you 3 times. It maybe sign a summons, because we don't have to. It's obstruction charge here. So you're going to jail, and you're going to sign it in front of the magistrate. And you don't want to sign a magistrate make you sit in jail till the next day, and you go talk to the judge. Right. But you're going to sign that summons or ticket. And so she just said things differently in a different tone, like you had said earlier, it might have turned out. You're right. She might have just got a warning.
Yeah, everything could have been peachy keen. She could have been on her way to wherever she was going, because clearly she didn't want him to. It's none of your business. I'm just like, woman, like,
why do we have to be like?
Calm down, honestly, because the reality was, like I said a moment ago, she got stopped because of her speeding. That officer did, and I'm sure you got to back all that kind of stuff up with the radar or whatever he had in his vehicle to justify that. But just no need for. I don't care how you feel about cops. You can hate us for all I care. But if you want drama, continue to be stopped by the police and act like this.
And you can't. The race car is getting old. I'm just going to tell you, it's getting old, right?
Yeah, people are being hip to it, and they're getting tired of it.
Right.
Do you have your bill of sale with the car then?
No, I don't.
Okay, you should probably carry that with you if you're not going to display your registration sticker.
Well, I wasn't told that, so you might need to get updated on the laws.
Again, it's somebody else's car.
All right, give me just a second.
15:03 is the time check. He's heading back to his vehicle, about to be 15:04. (15:05) and 30 seconds. He's done. He's heading back to her vehicle. So not even a minute and a half, maybe a minute and 33.
All right, here's your copy of the citation. As far as the bills, you don't want to take it? Well, it's going to take it because it's your citation. That's your citation. That's littering. Step out.
I think you said in your state that if someone refused to sign the ticket, that it wasn't mandatory.
Yeah, it's you're going to jail.
Oh yeah, same here in Vegas.
Yeah,
in Vegas, you refuse to sign the ticket. The only other option is we take you to jail.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll start. Oh, I never forget a head guy did that. He tried to show off in front of his wife. I knew what he was doing. He was a Coast Guard guy, lieutenant, I think, in the Coast Guard, and he tries to act bad and everything. So I nicely set the clipboard down. I said, okay. I started reaching for the door handle. He said, what are you doing? I said, well, you going to jail. He said, oh, no. I was just asking to see what would happen if I didn't. I'm not saying I was. Oh, okay. Well, sign it. And then you hear his wife, just sign the damn thing so we can go. And she was fussing him out. I said, man, don't. It's like I'm not going to play. Again, I'm only speaking where I worked at.
Right.
In our area, we're not going to play that because the longer I stay on the road arguing with you, the higher risk I am of getting hit. And I'm not going to stay out there no longer than I have to. I just want you to sign that ticket and
yes,
for
sir.
you to go along on your way, and I'm going to go my way. And that's it. That's all I want. You can tell the judge whatever you want in court. That is totally fine. And I will say how I came into contact with you, and this is what I got. The judge is going to ask you, will you have any questions for the trooper? You're going to say no, because you probably won't have any questions.
Right.
And then you're going to try to argue with the judge and saying to the judge, well, it wasn't me. Well, that's not a solid case for you to beat the ticket. I'm just here to tell you.
Right.
But 3 strikes and you out with me. That's how I did it. I'm only going to ask you 3 times and you're going in handcuffs.
Right. Hey, I got a hit from one of my boys. I used to work with him on patrol downtown here in Vegas. He said, you don't have to sign in Vegas. You don't have to sign anymore. You just put it under the window. Real quick, Paul, how about if you have a jaywalking or something like that, a misdemeanor traffic or misdemeanor citation that you give someone that's maybe not traffic related, but they don't want to sign it. What's the law now? Has that changed any, or are they still obligated to sign that ticket? Let me know either way if you're still there. But yeah, I mean, it's probably for the better because it probably caused unnecessary arrest. He said jaywalking is no more, meaning jaywalking isn't even a violation anymore.
Oh, wow.
Or is it just they don't have to sign it?
Out of the car.
Don't
yes,
do
ma'am.
that.
Yes, ma'am. Step out.
I'm not stepping
Step
out.
out. 6,963.
Yes.
Step out.
I'm not
Step out. Step out. Step out.
Don't touch me.
Step it out.
I'm not stepping
Step
out.
out.
Shit. Call
Step
your
out.
motherfucking supervisor.
I am the supervisor.
You're not the supervisor.
Yes, I am.
Call your
I am the
supervisor.
corporal.
A
Step out.
supervisor.
How many times roughly did he ask her to step out of the vehicle? I mean, he's already said it. He's already said it a few times, like a number of times. And look how quick she went to even a worse attitude.
Yeah.
Split second.
I'm not yes.
Step out.
I'm not
Step out. Step out.
Don't touch
Step
me.
out.
Don't touch me.
Step it out.
I'm not stepping
Step
out.
And what are you hearing in the background? The son, Mom, chill out. Like he's like, Mom, chill out.
Shit. Call
Step
your
out.
motherfucking supervisor.
I am the supervisor.
You're not the supervisor.
Yes, I am.
Call your
I am the
supervisor.
corporal.
A
Step out.
supervisor. I'm not
Step
stepping
out.
out of nothing. Get
Step
your
out.
fucking hand off me.
Step
Get your
out.
hand off me. Get your hand off me. I will step
Step
out
out.
when the supervisor.
I counted 11, might be 12 times he said step out.
Right. Any further comments you want to make just on what we've seen so far, Corey?
Up to this point, again, if I were critiquing his stop, he would be doing everything according to what we had as the SOP, standard operating procedures.
Right.
I gave you the verbal warning to get out, and my presence alone is a sign of authority.
Absolutely.
When you're asked at this point, when they're telling you to get out of the vehicle, you have to get out of the vehicle. There's no arguing and doing what she's doing, because now, by her being aggressive like that, now you put the officer in a position now where he has to put hands on you.
No doubt.
To get you out. And you didn't have to get to that point, right? Okay, the attitude, the mouth, whatever, fine. But now, as I ask you to get out of the vehicle, there's no more nor debating and arguing over that. It's time.
Conversation's over. The conversation is over.
At this point, you're going to jail. I got to get you out of that vehicle.
Right.
And rightly so. I mean, he gave her ample opportunities to get out. And, I'm sorry she had a bruise on the wrist, but I'm going to hold you, because now at this point, Eric, I don't know what her intentions are. I don't know. I don't want her to try to start the car and drive off with me in it. I don't know if she's got a gun in there, right? Because we haven't searched the vehicle, so we don't know what's in the vehicle, right? So now, as the officer, I don't know what her intentions are. And you could probably turn it around and say, well, Eric, we don't know what the officer's intentions are right now. Well, the officer's intentions right now is to gain control of the situation, because now it's escalating, right?
No doubt.
And who's the one escalating?
Thank you. He escalated it to the degree where she was uncooperative. She littered. I'm assuming that's within his, like you said, within the law, within his department policies. So I don't think he would just say, he knows he's on body camera. So I don't think he's going to sit up there and do anything dumb intentionally to put himself in a bad situation with his department, maybe get a suspension or a write-up unnecessarily. He was a cool head. She was the one who came to this situation with an attitude. And like you said, it is what it is. The attitude, you deal with that every day in law enforcement. Every single day, multiple stops, multiple calls. You're dealing with people who got a funky attitude for whatever reason.
Right.
But as soon as it gets to the point to where he was probably looking for a reason to take her to jail, honestly, because I think I might have been too. To be real with
a stank attitude like that.
Yeah, you sitting up there like I don't want it, and then you throw the ticket on the floor, on the ground, and and if it's within his policies, within the law, I can arrest you for littering. You coming with me? And then she starts to physically resist him. She tries to pull the door closed. She's pulling away from him, going off, talking about she's kind of punking him, trying to punk him out. And most officers, I used to say this all the time, out there on these streets, whether it was when I was working in the jail or working in the prison, your reputation is on the line on almost every stop in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So you can't have a citizen, when you are supposed to be representing the law, you can't have a citizen dictating what's going to happen to them. I've seen officers, some inmate get or citizen suspect get loud and ignorant with them. I've seen officers just let these guys go on about their business, and to me, that's just like, that ain't happening. You're not going to sit over here and try to punk me out, disrespect me on that grand scale like that, and then I'm just going to turn around and tuck tails and walk away.
Right.
No, if I'm able to give you a ticket or take you to jail, that's exactly what you're going to get. Now, I've had people walk down the street and it was just a consensual stop, or I wanted to talk to them just to maybe get some information about something that was going on, and they were in no way involved. I remember this lady was walking down the sidewalk one time, and I said, "Hey, ma'am, you got a minute?" She said, "Nope," and she just kept on walking. And honestly, there was nothing I could do. there was nothing I could do. I just wanted to ask her about things that were going on because I think there was like a robbery had taken place. She just didn't want to have any part of it. She wasn't a suspect,
right?
Witness. I was just trying to find out about. Oh, maybe she knew this guy or something like that. She did. She said, "Nope, I don't have the time, officer." And she just kept on walking
and kept on moving.
But this right here, where I got authority in this stop, and you're going to act any old way and talk to me, and then physically resist me, the whole game's it's going to change the whole game. The whole game.
And actually, Eric, I think he was being very generous with her.
Absolutely.
When he went hands on with her, because you get into now. What we call paying compliance, right? Could he have gone to maybe taser,
pepper spray?
Pepper spray. But I probably wouldn't use that because the kid was in there.
What I thought about, I would have told this kid to get out of the car. I'm like, get out of the car, son, because I've never pepper sprayed anybody, like ever in my whole career. Never pepper sprayed anybody. I was a hands-on type of dude, or either for me, typically it was hands-on or I'm holding you at gunpoint. There really wasn't. Every now and then I would threaten somebody with a taser, but most of the time I was quick to go hands-on with somebody. That was my go-to. I think it was all the years working in the jail, working in the prison. That was kind of like my natural reflex because we didn't have all those tools initially back in the day when I first started. We had pepper spray, but we didn't have any tasers. And when I first started working in law enforcement. And so that was my mindset was just, and especially in the jail or in a prison setting, you don't necessarily need all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But when I was out on patrol, it was, I'm snatching you up. And me, like you said, brother, 2-3 times I'd have been like, ma'am, you need to get out of the car. I'm going to make you get out of the car. And I may have been nice because her son's there. I'm like, son, you need to step out of the car. Just go back up where I can still see you. Just step away from the car because I'm about to pepper spray your mom unless she complies. And if she didn't, I'd be like, okay. And I'll sit back and just let it seep in, sink in, and let it take effect. And then I guarantee you she would have had a new attitude. Or he could have just continued doing what he did, but I would have snatched her out. She would have been out of that. Let me tell you something. She would have been coming out of that car after about 2 or 3 times of me saying that, it would have been over.
Yeah, I mean, there's that's why we had the tools on the belt. Like, no deadly forces never would have been authorized in this case, but using, the less than lethal type things, your taser, OC spray, you'd ask, you could use it just to kind of, maybe probe her in the leg or somewhere where you can distract and be able to gain more control to get her out. You could use defensive tactic, pressure points.
Wrist lock type of thing.
Wrist lock type of things. Yes, when they put these things on you, they're going to hurt, right? When I grab you, I want you to know I got you. I'm not going to let you go because I don't want you to do nothing stupid. In this case, who knows? She probably would try to drive off with me. You know what I'm saying? While I'm trying to hold you. No,
I wouldn't have been surprised.
Right. So, you have these things. The officer has these things, but he chose not to do any of those things. He, in fact, just chose to have a firm grip on her. And if it left a bruise on her, oh well.
She could have ended all that by complying.
Yeah, she could have. I had one guy did that one time, man. We was out at 7-Eleven. He tried to run from me, and I detained him there at 7-Eleven. I just wrote him a ticket, and he balled it up and threw it down. It's like, that's all right, man. I got the original copy. You're straight.
So when you don't show up for court.
Yeah. I'll be arresting you again. Don't worry about it. Let me get you again. Right. So again, could I had, arrested that guy for littering, Hey, yeah, but it really just a summons and let him go. But yeah, he could have done that. But it was no big deal thing to me. I got the original copy that's going to the court. So
that's it.
You want with the copy.
Right. I honestly don't remember I think it depends on whether you're in city or county jurisdiction here, but I don't recall littering being a arrestable offense. It might have been. My boy wrote something, gave us a little bit of update. Misdemeanors, yes, you could still take them on, but a lot of traffic is now civil offense. Back a few years when all the equality came out, they did away with fix-it tickets. You will pay something now. You will pay something now. There is no signing off on those either. Yeah, my daughter got pulled over not that long ago, and she ended up getting a ticket. And I was like, what the heck is this, man? Like, she was driving my car, and I was, because it was a common courtesy amongst locals, police officers. You pull someone over, and it's enough. I think she just had a tail light or a headlight was out, and she ended up getting a ticket. We got it taken care of, but it was just like, man, like, what's up? But yeah, I see how things have changed as of late. All right, let's continue.
I am the supervisor, ma'am.
Get your hand off
Taneisha,
me. Get your hand
I'm not
off
letting
me.
go.
You littered. You dropped the ticket, not me.
I put the ticket.
That woman literally threw a ticket out the car.
And she said he did it.
You littered. You threw it out there. Lying. So already your credibility. First of all, you had a stank attitude unnecessarily, and now you're lying.
Right.
So it's just like, and you're trying to play feigned victim and try to say that this is racially motivated.
Yeah.
No,
car
you dropped the
because
ticket,
that's your
not
copy.
me. You dropped the ticket, not me. Get your hands off me.
Take the
You're
ticket and
touching
go.
Me. Give me the ticket. You're touching me forcibly. You're holding me too tight, and you're being out of line.
You are resisting.
Y'all see this, right?
Sir, I'm sorry.
Stop.
Can she just get the ticket?
No, you stop. Why are you?
You hear the son?
Sir,
Right.
can you just get
Right
the
there.
ticket?
Let me back it up real quick. He's trying to be the voice of reason in this whole conversation, or one of them anyway.
You're touching me
Mom
forcibly.
ain't doing
You're
it.
holding me
Because
too tight, and you're being out of line.
You are
Y'all
resisting.
see this,
Get the
right?
ticket. Sir, I'm sorry.
Stop.
Can she just get the ticket?
No, you stop.
Stop.
Why are you holding my arm like
Because
this?
I gave you the
Why?
ticket.
No, you
Then
did
you
not.
proceeded
You
to throw
dropped
it.
the ticket.
I
not
put it
me.
in your car,
I told you I did
and
not
you
want
proceeded
it.
to throw it out of
dropped
the car.
You dropped it. You're doing too much. I'm not afraid of you.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought but obviously this is early on in the whole setting. I'm not afraid of you're doing too much. The officer was level-headed and chill and cool the whole time.
Yeah.
She's the one that had the attitude from the get-go. And that doesn't necessarily mean that he needed to put his hands on her to arrest her. But if he had an arrestable offense, I keep saying this, he's completely justified in doing what he did. But let's be honest, her attitude brought them to this situation.
Correct.
Which brings us back to how you act. What we started off this whole show, how you act is in my honest opinion, is the biggest factor in how a police contact ends. You can be a serial killer sitting in there in your vehicle and you get pulled over by a police officer. You can be a PDF file, if you know what I'm saying, and you get pulled over by a cop, serial one. And if you have a good attitude and you don't act stupid, you can walk away, or you maybe walk away. You can be taken into custody without anybody getting hurt.
Yep. 100%.
Or you can be somebody who gets pulled over for a simple possible speeding violation. And then you can end up having to get snatched out of your car and end up with a black eye and all, and be traumatized from it. But her attitude, her demeanor, that's the factor. That's the consistent factor in all these different situations. What are your thoughts?
Yep, that's why I wrote the book Calm, man, because right there she could have used it. If you just stay calm, because like you said, we don't know who you are when we pull you over.
Right.
And like you said, you could be a murderer. But if you're cool, calm, and collected, you're answering my question. Hell yeah, I just come from my girlfriend's house, and just had a good time, just excited about where we're going in the relationship. I mean, he could be blowing smoke up my hind part, right? But he's doing everything according to the act now, right? He's staying calm, right? He's complying with me. He's answering simple questions that I may be asking. He's listening to what I'm telling him, hey, how to take care of the ticket. And now he gets to move on. And he probably just murdered somebody. Right?
Yeah, and you wouldn't know necessarily unless it was like a warrant out for him or something like that.
No warrant.
Blood in the vehicle, whatever.
Right. But I'm just saying, this is what I'm saying, how you act, right? So now with calm, power is in your hands.
Say that again, brother. Say that again.
The power is in your hands when you're staying calm, you're complying, answering questions, listening, moving on. The power is in your hand, right? Because it's kind of hard for the officer to do something stupid to you if you're doing everything they're asking you to do. I can't bust you upside the head. I can't snatch you up out the car if you're complying, right? And answering my questions. You're doing everything I'm asking you to do. Could that officer still bust you upside the head even after I told you not to do something? Yeah, he could, but then who really gonna be in the wrong?
Exactly.
My bad. The officer is. The officer's gonna be in the wrong. And that's what you would want, to them be in the wrong, because what would you rather have for your viewers? Or even you, Eric, would you rather be alive and win your lawsuit and enjoy that money? Or would you rather be dead and you don't get to enjoy that money and your family get to blow all those millions of dollars? And you dead. So what did you get out of it?
Nothing.
Because you chose to act stupid.
Because you want to puff up your chest and act like you're big and bad or something like that.
You wanted your 2 minutes of fame.
And she got it.
She got it. She got exactly what she want.
Yeah, I don't know how people. I haven't looked at the overall comments on the video, but I'm sure there's a high percentage of people, most reasonable people, will say she got what she deserved.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
But I've asked you to step out of the car
for no reason.
Because you need to step out of the car.
Hands off
step
me.
out of the car.
No, what am I stepping out of the car?
Is there anything I can do to get you to comply?
Look, Mom.
Look at that. Look. He literally asked her, "Is there anything I can do to get you to comply?"
Now, if he's
a racist, have to do all that.
If he's a racist cop, he's a horrible one. I'm just saying, like, am I wrong for that?
No, not at all. Because, like, what evidence has he shown that he's racist?
Right. But yet you're using it as part of your argument of racial profiling.
It's ridiculous. And this is one of them instances, and I'm probably going to piss somebody off, but this is like one of them instances where people have an attitude, get bothered by black folks. Probably going to piss some folks off, but too many times, we want to blame every issue on racism, on race. And this is just me talking. This ain't Corey talking. This is just Eric talking. But we try to blame every problem we have on race. But then we have moments like this where we want to act stupid when it didn't need to even go there. This was totally unnecessary. It wasn't like the officer was going over there bowing up, talking crazy to her, talking down to her. Right. And then she had a little bit of an attitude back. We would be taking a totally different position on this call if this officer came with an attitude. But even then, we would still be saying, I don't give a damn how that officer is acting, because you can have your opportunity you can have your time in court, and yet you could get beaten, brutalized, hurt, injured, whatever. But body camera, she's recording the video, it's going to get found out. These ain't like in the 90s when there were no cameras everywhere.
Right.
Now cameras are everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be able to dictate, articulate and justify your actions on every vehicle stop. So even if the officer came here with attitude, that doesn't even make her just in getting one back. But we would be able to understand a little bit. Do you agree with that? I don't know what you think.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, she brought this all on herself. It didn't need to go this far. And it's just always mind-boggling why these things happen and unfold the way that they do. And you know me, Eric, I'm always going to blame the media, because the media will keep running these things and hyping them up to give people the false narrative that the police are always coming out after you, and particularly black people. Well, not necessarily. If you would be fair and show every police interaction, then you would see blacks aren't really the ones being targeted.
Absolutely.
Right? It just seems like it's black because the only ones that they are showing are black. And so you to my fellow brothers and sisters out there, black folks, you get that sense of feeling of being threatened, because the only thing you see on the television is black people involvement with law enforcement. So you're automatically being programmed to think your interaction with law enforcement is automatically going to go south, and you're automatically either going to get beat up or shot or killed. And that is a lie. Because if that were true, you would see more dead black bodies on the side of the road.
And that's not what's happening.
And that's not what's happening.
Most of the dead black bodies, unfortunately, are committed by other black bodies. That's the reality.
Yeah.
And cops aren't even. I saw a video, I actually made a video, I haven't posted it yet, where Heather McDonald, the author of The War on Cops, she was talking about you can eliminate every police officer's shooting or killing of a black person, and it wouldn't even make a dent in the overall statistics as far as the black homicide rate. Because the number of murders that we commit on each other is like 5-7 times the numbers of other ethnic groups.
Wow.
But yet we've been brainwashed and manipulated into believing that we need to be fearful of law enforcement, when in all actuality, law enforcement is probably the one entity that saves more black lives than any other group in the country. Yep. Because of just by the very nature of our job. We police these different communities. But like you said, man, it's television. It's the media manipulating and brainwashing a whole group of people to wrongly believe who the enemy really is. Wow.
100%.
You threw the car out of the car.
No, I did not. You did that. You threw the ticket at me.
I gave it to you so you could leave, and then you grabbed it and threw it out.
Give me the
it's
ticket.
on your phone video.
Give me the ticket.
We're past that.
Okay.
You're under arrest. Step out of the car, littering.
Okay.
Step out of the car.
No, I'm not.
You're under arrest.
No, when the
yes, ma'am.
When your colonel gets
no,
here,
we are beyond that.
Step out. I'm
out.
not getting out of the car. I'm with my child, and I'm not.
I understand you're with
Call
your child.
right now.
Step out of the car.
I'm not.
Step out of the car.
I'll step out when another officer gets here. I'm not
step out.
I don't trust you. You're holding me too strong.
Because I don't trust you.
You don't have to hold me like I'm not going anywhere. Where am I going to go?
I will stop holding you if you step out of the car.
I'm not stepping out of the car.
You need to
Call
step
your
out of the
colonel
car.
and I will get out of the car.
This is resisting arrest.
I'm not resisting arrest.
Because you're not answering my order.
She absolutely is resisting arrest. Again, compliance. Step out of the car. Let that officer put you in handcuffs. This whole situation is over. Other than the fact that you're going to jail, but she's constantly escalating this entire encounter.
And he's trying to
I didn't litter. You said that.
Say again, brother.
I would say he's trying to de-escalate. Like if you see his, I would imagine assuming it'd be his left hand. It's like as if he's
right here.
Given as instruction, please, like I'm showing you courtesy here, just get out of the car. And they're holding her with the right hand. So he's not really he's just holding her and just to have some type of control. Because again, we don't know her mindset. We don't know now she's so afraid she might, again, try to drive off with her, or could be a weapon in the car. We don't know. Haven't searched the car yet. So, I mean, at this point, everything is on her. And he's, being nice. Like, I just can't justify what it is that she's doing. Like, what is her reasoning behind this? I guess we'll never know because she's not going to say she did anything wrong.
Right.
No, I did not. You did that. You did that. It's all on camera.
So correct.
When your colonel gets here, then I will step out. I have my child with me.
I am the corporal.
Getting out of you have a supervisor. Okay.
I am the supervisor
so when your
on duty.
Supervisor gets here,
he
then
is not. I am the highest ranking supervisor.
Else
I don't have anyone else.
There is someone else.
Not right now.
There is someone
else. You need
else.
to step out of the car. Stop.
Get your
Stop.
This clown said, "Let me call 911." Lord have mercy. I'm sorry.
And just to sit there and just to say, call your colonel out here. Well, the colonel's not coming out. Just want to throw that out there. And usually, these, I'm not sure what time of day this is, but there's only so many supervisors per shift.
Yeah.
And if she wanted to talk, and he happened to be the shift supervisor, so that's what you get. Now you want to voice any more concerns, well, ma'am, you're now at this point, you're going to need to get out of the vehicle. And then you go down the booking, you get processed, and then you can make your complaint once you get booked and go in front of the magistrate or the judge the next day. That's how it's done, right? It's not going to be handled out like on the side of the road like that. And I don't know, maybe different in other localities, but where I'm from here in Virginia, we have one supervisor per shift, and we'll call him. He may or she may say, "Now it's not enough for me to come out. You can handle it. Just do this. And it probably won't come out, or they might come out depending on the situation here. And over the years, I would more imagine so more now than ever they probably would come out versus back in the day when I was out there.
Right.
But clearly, yeah, he's a supervisor. This is what she gets, and she needs to comply. But obviously she's not. So
yeah, and she's at the point to where the only way she'll comply is if she's made to.
Right.
And Paul makes another good point real quick. He says he is calm. He needs to end this sooner. 1,000%, brother. He gave her way too many opportunities to comply. But
remember, I had my 3 strikes. You out. I'd have got you. I might ask you more than 3.
She got like 30 over here.
Yeah.
And in this day and age, I get it. I can kind of understand it with the media scrutiny on police.
That was dangerous right there, Eric.
I'm with you.
That's what's dangerous, right? Because now, because of the media in the narrative they're trying to push out there, the police officer now is walking on eggshells because now, okay, do I want to do it? Oh, she's complaining. Maybe I do need to back off. Maybe I do. Now you're going to start second guessing yourself.
Yeah.
And when you do that, that just ups the ante for you to end up having something, bad happen to you, the officer, right? And so now, officers being a little more hesitant now than ever before, was where it's like, oh shoot, maybe I shouldn't do that. Oh shoot, they got this, but maybe I shouldn't draw my weapon. Maybe you're doing all these things in your head and questioning yourself, that now you're going to put yourself at a greater risk of being hurt because of people like her.
Yeah, I saw a few years ago, there was one in Chicago where this one female cop, I think it was 2 officers, but it was a female, made a stop with a guy. I think it might have been some homeless dude who was mentally ill. It's been a while, so I don't remember all the details, but she ended up getting into physical confrontation with him. He's like throwing punches at her. Another officer shows up. They finally take him to the ground. And then one of the officers asked her, like, why didn't you shoot him? And she was like, I was too worried about what, that's when this was like.
Yeah, I think I remember
2020, 2021, between like 2018 and like 2021, when you had it was post Trayvon Martin, even though it wasn't law enforcement, but you had obviously George Floyd, but the Eric Garner case and the Michael Brown case, that was like the worst time to be a cop because everybody and their mom was hating on law enforcement and whatnot. And this female officer hesitated because she was worried about her white female cop in Chicago shooting a black man.
Yep.
And luckily for her, that it ended well.
Yeah.
But she would have easily been justified to use deadly force. Dude was like twice her size, trying to throw punches. If he really connected, knocked her out, Lord only knows what that fool could have done to her. But that's exactly basically what you're saying. We, as a cop, you don't need to be second guessing your actions. There's no way in the world. I don't think I've ever been on a police stop where I gave somebody this many warnings without them being around. I don't ever been in a situation like that, because eventually you just start to look dumb.
Yeah.
Like I said, I respect the officer. He's being professional, but you got to end stuff when you know, okay, all the talking is over. You're coming out, or I'm making you get out. And then if she's like, get your hands off me, I'm snatching her out. And if that means
So here's the question.
That's her own fault.
Is time not on our side?
How do you mean?
So there is no time restriction. So yeah, and that's why I like talking on shows like this. Is why we had our podcast, because no two officers are going to do the same thing. I'm assuming Paul is in law enforcement as well.
Yeah, I think he retired recently.
And the three of us would probably all either handle this somewhat similar in the same way, but maybe done some things a little different. I would, like I said, I had my 3-strike rule. This officer here chose to carry it out until he got reinforcement, which is not wrong either. You, on the other hand, gathered you would have ended it a lot quicker, somewhere around the same time frame as me. Right? I'm gonna give you three opportunities, and you're coming out the car. So what I'm saying with time is on our side is that we're not in a hurry, right? In this neighborhood, yeah, on the interstate, yeah, I am kind of in a hurry. I don't have all that time in the world on the interstate, but here, and looks like she might have been in a residential neighborhood. Yeah, I got a little more time. It's not a high traffic area, so I'm cool here if we stay here a few more minutes. But again, 3-strike rule for me went everywhere in residential or on the interstate. You coming out, because I'm not gonna spend all day out here arguing with you. Again, each officer is different.
It's like the only thing I would push back on that, if you even want to call it that, is what's going to happen ultimately. What if there wasn't anybody? Now, if you have other officers available to come and help you handle your business, maybe that's a possibility. But what's going to be the ultimate? What's going to be the ultimate? How's this thing going to turn out? Ultimately, she's going to end up going to jail. Yeah, you probably could say, yeah, I have another officer. Maybe I don't have to use the same amount of force. But as the video progresses, we're going to see they're going to have to end up using a lot of force to get her out.
Yeah.
And there was another officer on the scene. I think it was at least 2 trying to pull her out because she just wasn't willing to comply whatsoever. So I think you can have it both ways. You could be patient and say, wait for somebody else to get here. You could do that.
You could.
But I don't think it was necessary. And I'm not saying that's what you're saying. But it's just like, when do you get to the point to where you're just like, okay, we're done talking. You're sitting over here being disrespectful. You're breaking laws. Now you're resisting arrest. I don't know, man. Like personally,
it's no right or wrong. And that's why I say, time. Yeah. You mentioned, whether the guy's waiting on his shift partner to show up to have out me in states. Sometimes
you probably didn't have that option.
We didn't have that option. So yeah, I don't have the time. Right. Again, maybe if I was dealing with somebody, in the city on the streets, maybe I have a little more time. Maybe I can call another trooper to come, or
maybe even a local cop or something.
Yeah, that there's been plenty of times that I call and get city guys to come up and back me up or whatever, because they'll be a lot closer than a trooper. And so again, each situation dictates itself how it's gonna go.
No doubt.
And here, maybe he felt he had the time. That's why he went as long as he did with her.
No, that's a good point. Way more patient than I am, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Get out. Wait, stop. Mom, chill out. Get out. Wait, stop, sir. Please stop. Get out. Stop. Please stop.
Okay, just by looking at that, though, he's already at a point to where he's trying to snatch her out.
He's done, yeah.
He's already physically committed to that. That's why my natural tendency would be like, okay, I'm committed to this. You're out. You're getting out. You're getting put on the ground. You're getting taken into custody. Mm-hmm. I just think if it just rewind the clock back, because now we're at what time? 15:08.
We're only eight minutes in. Actually,
he probably spent about 4 minutes at the window. He's probably spent about 4 minutes over here trying to get her to come out of the car. Yeah, that's it. Like you said, he isn't necessarily wrong, I think, but if we take into consideration everything we talked about, what you saying, you don't know if she has a weapon or anything like that. I think the sooner he gains control and gains compliance, whether that be through paying compliance, the sooner he does that, the better it is for everybody. The safer the officer will be, because again, going back to who she is, we have no idea what her intentions were. She could have just had a bad attitude, or she could be, like you said, there could be a dead body in the trunk and she's trying to get away and she's trying to act stupid. Yep. So the sooner and like I said, my mindset would be, or what was, the sooner I can get control of this situation, the sooner I can get her in the vehicle and I can get her to jail and we can figure out everything that's going on. And move on if there are other calls holding, and move on to the next call. Because that was always the case here. There's always another call holding. There's always something pending, so you can get on with your job.
Wait, stop. Get out, man. Stop. Get out. Wait, please stop. Roll over.
Still resisting.
Roll over. How am I going to roll over? Roll over. Roll over to the left. Pull your hand up.
All you had to do is take the ticket and leave.
That right there, that one sentence sums it all up. All you had to do was take the ticket and leave. But she wanted to have an attitude, so now she's on the ground going to jail.
Yep, and getting your clothes all ripped off, and now it's the police that's the bad guy here.
Right.
I love to hear what the viewers have to say on this, man.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Hopefully we'll get a few views on it, but
she's in custody.
Do you think she has a previous history?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to speculate on that.
That's all we're doing, man. We're just speculating. We're just guessing.
Yeah. I would say she probably had it. Probably as far as traffic wise goes, yeah, I'm sure she's had a few speeding tickets in her day. But my heart goes out to the son, because what type of example did you just set for him?
Horrible example. Horrible. The example she set for him was, this is how you deal with the police. You resist.
Right.
And you catch an attitude.
Right. You catch an attitude. But he seemed to be the voice of reason. Like, now I'm hoping he picked that up from the dad. Because clearly
if he's around, hopefully he's around.
Yeah, that part, and because we know he didn't get it from the mama. This is not how to act when you're dealing with law enforcement, folks. This is not. She's the prime example. She should be a poster picture now, how not to act when dealing with law enforcement.
Yeah.
You see the end result. Thank God. Yes, you might have had some scrapes and bruises, but again, she brought all that on to herself. And keep in mind too, Eric, when police do decide to go hands-on with you, understand it's not going to be pretty, especially when you're resisting, as she is. You're going to get scratched up. You're going to get taken down to the pavement. I'm not going to lay you down on the pavement. I'm going to put you down on the pavement. And it will be aggressively. Right, because I'm going to gain control of this situation, because I don't want you to get hurt more than what you are from me putting you down on the ground, and I don't want to get hurt.
That's it, brother. That's it.
And so, when the police do decide to go hands on with you because you're acting like this woman here, understand, it is not going to be pretty.
Yeah, there are consequences for
your actions.
For resisting the police. There are consequences that come with that.
Yep, 100%.
Get my phone.
All right. Get her set up and have her sit up against the bumper of the car. Lean this way. Step up. My feet, please. There we go. Go into this car back here. Face the number 11. Right there. Spread your feet for me. No guns, drugs, knives on you, right? No guns, drugs, or knives on you. Yes or no?
She's real comfortable with them handcuffs.
Yeah.
Either she's like one of them activist types, or this is pure speculation on my part. Either she's one of those anti-cop woke activist types, militants, or she's got a little bit of a record and she's kind of used to being, and I could be totally wrong, but she didn't shed a tear, nothing. She's comfortable, laid up on the concrete. Look at her. I don't know.
Like she's been there before.
Yeah, that's what makes me think that this isn't her first rodeo.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, you know, probably, but I'm not going to speculate on that. You know, I'm probably gonna give her a little grain of salt, maybe just chalk it up that she had a really bad day that day, and it just
real bad day
escalated into this.
Look what Paul said. He said, "That's too bad. Her car not legally parked needs to be towed."
You're right. Right. And now this little, well, I don't know how much is a traffic citation there in the school zone. I mean, ours can be pretty expensive here, but now you're adding that your vehicle's got to be towed now. Somebody's got to come get the son. You know, now you got to get a lawyer. He's going to charge you. And, you know, the judge is probably going to find her guilty and hit her with all kind of fines. So, you know, this probably going to cost her upwards of maybe $2,000 after it's all said and done.
Like, honestly, the only way personally I would have showed her, let's just say I'm talking to the son and he's got a driver's license and everything's good. I probably would have showed him a little grace. Take your car home. You know what I mean? That's probably that's what I might have done. Just so, because I would have had a conversation with that kid.
Yeah.
I'd been like, young man, listen. Do you see how this went sideways and why it did? Like, I would at least let him know that this whole, none of this had to happen.
Yep.
None of this had to happen.
None of it had to happen.
Don't learn from this. This isn't how you deal with the police. You act like you got some sense. Go ahead and give them the acronym, Corey.
Calm, comply, answer questions, listen, and move on.
That's it, brother.
That is it.
Save yourself a whole lot of pain financially, physically, emotionally, just by doing what they ask you to do.
Yes.
He
doesn't know. That's why he's asking. I don't know. That's why I asked you. It's a yes or no question. Keys in the back of my hand.
Anyway, any final comments, brother?
What I'll just say, man, it's not worth it. To your viewers, it's not worth it. It's just much easier just to comply, even if you know and feel in your heart that the officer is totally wrong. That's fine. You make all the mental notes, right? When you get home, you can, calm down a little bit, get your bearings straight, and document everything. So when you go to court to argue, you can articulate everything that happened. If you got it videotaped, you got a dash cam in your car, bring it, present it to court, right? The officer would do the same. If it's video footage that needs to be presented, he'll present that. He'll articulate why he stopped you, what you said, what he said, and let the cars fall where they may be and let the judge make the final decision. Don't take it into your hands and do something, because it never ends pretty for anybody on the side of the road. Somebody's going to get hurt, somebody's going to jail, somebody's going to end up getting killed, right? And none of that has to happen.
Absolutely.
Not for a speeding ticket, not for a busted tail light, not for, not using your turn signal. Nobody should be going to jail or getting hurt or killed for that. It's not worth it. Just stay calm, comply, answer their questions, listen to what they had to say, and move on. You move on is the key, right? Because now you can fight it in court, or and you can go and make your complaint if you feel like you wanted them to talk to. So, but she could have just took the ticket, went to the precinct, because the officer's information is going to be on that citation. Go to the precinct and talk to the supervisor there and make your case of why you feel like you didn't deserve that ticket or how they treated you. That's where you make your argument there, and you make your argument for the ticket in the courtroom, and that's how you handle it.
No doubt. Hey, y'all, so if y'all got to appreciate it, my man Corey here, brothersinlaw.com. Brothers, BROTHAS, inlaw.com. And grab a copy of his book, Seconds to Survive, Master the Calm Method for Confidently Navigating Police Stops. And then he has No Trauma, No Drama, Keeping Calm in a Chaotic World.
Yeah.
Go on over to that website. You can also find it on Amazon, but help the brother get a little bit more of the profits, because Amazon be trying to get theirs. I ain't mad at them, but help the brother out. Go to brothersinlaw.com, snatch up your copy. And again, Corey, it's been good, brother. I appreciate having you on. Is there anywhere else, if people wanted to follow you, is there anywhere else they can find you?
I post sometimes on TikTok. Don't ask me what my TikTok. Just put my name in there. I'm sure I'll pop up. I don't keep up with all these tags, but yeah,
these social media handles.
Yeah, but yeah, you catch us out on some of our old YouTube videos. We have over 400 videos on there.
Nice.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it's 300 actually, but either or, there's plenty of videos on there to watch where we give our commentary, just like we did here tonight with Eric, and we talk about the CALM acronym. Had they followed the acronym, would their situation had turned out differently? So yeah, there's Brothers-in-Law, BROTHAS -IN-law over on YouTube, and then you got the brothersinlaw.com website.
Oh, sounds good. And once again, y'all, another episode comes to a close. We appreciate y'all for joining us. And as always, stay safe, God bless, and make sure you join the conversation. Peace.